3. I didn't even get to it. Hi, it's me, live, back from San Antonio. Where was I? New Mexico, Santa Fe. That's it. Anyway, it was fantastic. I know I've talked about it since. I talked about it while I was there. But if you haven't gone to Santa Fe, I highly recommend you take a trip there. Hey, Bob. Hi. Thank you. You're the first person here. Thank you for coming on. Have you ever gone to Santa Fe? Have you ever been there? Hey, Chi. Hi. Hola. Good to see you. Chicana. Good to see you. I'm so happy to be back home, mostly because we have good connection here. My brother, he had told me that in Santa Fe that they had really bad, at least he had really bad connection with his internet. And you guys saw that, or if you watched any of the videos while I was there, it was bad. It was really bad. So anyway, that's the way it was. It worked out. We had a wonderful trip. I love my brother. I hadn't seen him. Hey, Purple Groovy 69 from St. Louis, Missouri, my dad's hometown. I hadn't seen him in 40 years, which he kind of didn't want me to mention because it sounds kind of odd. But when you guys all know I was in a cult for 30 years. So that's basically it. Cece, hi. I'm going to try to stay awake for your trip to the story. Okay. ME2U California Coast. All right, Steve and community healthy young man. I know. I heard that. That's very good. Yeah, I'm glad that's happening. Thank you, Chi. Welcome back. And T from Perth, Scientology audit. All right, cool. Hey, beautiful Tori. Hey, you guys. It's good to see you. It's just good to be back home, believe it or not. I mean, I loved being there. I was almost ready to move there. If I could move all my friends that live here and my son to Santa Fe, I would move there. I really would. I loved it. I really did. But they're not going to move. Golden Toad. All right. Great to see you, Tori. How is the fight against Scientology going in LA? I have to actually catch up on it. Danny is having a trial Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I guess there's a bunch of stuff coming up. So anyway, I'll have to catch up on it myself. Dee Dee, Tori, lovely. Great to see you. I'm so happy you got time with your brother. I know. It's so important, and I would imagine healing, loving to both of you. It was very healing, I think. For me, it certainly was. I'm so glad you're back. Thank you, Mama Marcy. I know, I am too. I really am. Mostly, I don't know, it's just there's something about home. I really like home. And so my title for today is Why Scientology, Why Are They So Frightened of Their Critics? And I really thought about it while I was gone. I thought, they really sell, they really promote that they are for free speech, for free thought, but nothing could be farther from the truth. Nothing. Hi, Tales of Hyperkinetic Life. Wow. Hello. I so enjoyed your channel. Great. Yeah. I so enjoy you guys. I'm happy you're here. I really am. I wasn't going to do anything tonight. I thought, nah, they don't want to see me. But then I thought, well, maybe so. Did you show him your cards Mark Plunkler gave you? I didn't, but he's seen them on the internet. I've showed him on the internet. I don't want to carry them with me. I don't want to travel with them. But just so anybody who's missed them, my dad was a professional football player. And all the time I was in Scientology, no one ever checked on this. I left Scientology, escaped out after 30 years being in. And shortly after that, I had some wonderful friends help me. And then shortly after that, a gentleman named Mark Plummer, who just passed away this year, with my dear friend Andreas Heldeland also. But he sent me this card of my dad. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't even know he had a football card. And he sent me 4 of them. He has 4 of them. He has 2 of them for being a quarterback, 1 for broadcasting, and 1 for, I guess he played for the Green Bay Packers for 1 year, I think. I'm still going to catch up on that one. Mostly I know him from being on the Chicago Cardinals. So no, I didn't show him those cards, but he's seen them, and he was really interested. He wasn't interested at first. It was sort of like, okay, you're going to do your Scientology show. But he's very much an early to bed, early get up and go to coffee with his friends and stuff like that. And I was like, not going to happen. I do midnight with Magoo. So I said, I'll try to go to bed earlier, which I did like 10, and then I'd get up earlier. Thank you, Golden Toad. That's a cute name. So anyway, it worked out. We had a very good time. We just got along. We're basically, I mean, ironically, because we hadn't seen each other in 40 years. Now, the last 2 years, we came back together, and he started calling me almost every day, and really became my big brother, because he's my big brother. My other brother's 1 year older than I am. This brother's 4 years older than I am. But you know, his friends were really cool people. They're authors. There's this guy. Someone gave me this book, which is from. We went to see these scientists. It was like a 5-person panel. Very interesting. We went to Los Alamos, and I saw Robert Oppenheimer, which you've probably seen the movie, a bunch of you. But anyway, the museum there was fantastic. This is my brother. He's written 10 books on Amazon. They're all fiction books, but this one, I love the title. It's called, can you see it? It's called Lost in a Room Full of Dinosaurs. It's about a library, which he worked in for a while. You know, he used to be a runner and a writer. And then as he got older and started working with kids, and I think they really helped him a bunch. He helped them and they helped him. So anyway, we had a great time. I loved meeting his friends. They kind of refreshed all my interest in reading, which my mother had always done. And she was really big on reading too. You know, there's amazing things you can learn when you read. It is. So I know it isn't as popular as it used to be for a lot of people, but it is for a lot of people still. It really is. So there you go. So as far as Scientology, why are they so frightened of the critics? I mean, when you think of it, what do we do? Nothing except expose the fact that they lie and they're phony and their technology doesn't work and it costs a ton of money. And it's like a triangle. And so you're always, you start out $40, $100, $300, $1,000, $5,000, $20,000. It moves way up. It's very expensive, and it's a very expensive, crummy habit that doesn't work. That's why most of the guys at the top, and I think that's why Miscavige is not coming out with 9, 10, and 11. Because first of all, I don't think he's smart enough. I really don't. And that's not a dig, even though, it is sort of a dig, but I just don't think he is. I don't think he has it together to come up with something like that. And all the other people he's either fired or gotten rid of, or they've gone, screw you, and left. So there you go. So, but the other thing is that he knows, I love it. He knows the tech doesn't work. Miscavige is who I'm talking about, love it. And he knows, I know he knows that. I mean, I can't say I know it because I haven't talked to him and heard him say that. But having watched as many OT7s and 8s as I have, and how absolutely screwed up they are, I know that he has to have some kind of a clue. Something's very, very wrong. And that's why I think he's buying buildings, because think about it. Buildings can't sue you. People can. And I think he got tired of this whole people ticked off at him because it doesn't work. And it doesn't. And he probably has done it himself and knows it doesn't really work for me. So guess what, Miscavige? It doesn't. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Anyway, hi, Witness. It's good to see you. It's fun to see you guys and be back home at midnight with Magoo. And it's just midnight, 2 minutes after midnight. Here you go. So I think about it and I think that, they sell free speech. They sell freedom. But they can't deliver it at all. I'm over there at the complex. I was there a couple of nights ago and they're all like, they walk by and they're just like, you can see them. I go, Scientologists. Because you could tell, because it's like they're so just frozen, Just God forbid they might hear something from me. I mean, and I was there, so I know how it feels. It's like it's such a deep brainwashing that you really think, oh, I can't be around the SPs because they might say something that'll ruin my eternity. And that's what Hubbard said. So that's why he came up with that PTSSP thing. But the other part of it, I don't know if I know I've told it before, but I don't know if anybody's here who hadn't heard it. But in the early 50s, he wrote Dianetics. And originally, my husband's mother and father were part of those original Dianeticists. Thank you. Thank you, love it. That's nice. Yeah, really. She said, I look really amazing. Santa Fe did you well. It did. I loved it. I loved it, love it. And you helped me so much because she was the one who said, don't take a train, fly. Because the train would have been 13 hours. I would have arrived exhausted if I would have. I would have made it, but it wouldn't have been. I loved the scenery around there. I loved it. It's a whole different land. But I would have been exhausted. It would take me days to recover because I wouldn't have been able to sleep. So I would have been up all night. And then I would have arrived and, it just wouldn't have been good. So this way it was like 1 hour, an hour and a half. It was a cinch. Now, 6 cents, Amelia. Wow. Kia ora. Hello from New Zealand. Wow. New viewers recommended from XE News. Great. Well, welcome. Please make sure if you haven't subscribe to my channel because number one, Scientology hates it when my subscriptions go up. And number two, then you get notices and you'll find out when we're doing little shows and stuff like that. So there you go. Welcome from New Zealand. And one of the moderators on this show is Sophie, and she is from New Zealand also. And I think she might be from, I don't know if she's from Auckland. Does that sound right? I don't know. Love it. You'll have to tell me. All right. CC comment. I agree with you. DM knows. Yeah. There's no one above him to blame either. Right. Exactly. At my level, I figure it was good. It was good further up the line. I figured it was good further up the line. Surprised it was worse. So they all know the top guys. That's the thing. The people in general are good people. They're nice people. They're brainwashed, but they're not, like the cult experts told me when I first came. One of the biggest common misconceptions of cults is that people are stupid who get into cults. And they told me, this is their words, not mine. Thank you, 6 cents, for subscribing. Yay! Thank you. I appreciate it. They told me nothing could be farther from the truth. They said, we have been all around the world studying various different cults. And actually, most people that join cults have very high IQs. That's why they get in the cult. They want to do something different, something more, something else. And so they join these cults are attractive because they're different than working in an office or something like that. But as we see, they're all the same. I've been to cult conferences and they're all the same. It's very, very weird. I've heard people talk and I go, you were in the Sea Org, right? And they go, no, Church of Christ. And I'm like, wow. It's so similar. It's just frightening. listening along, new to this topic. All right. Okay. Well, Scientology is said to be a religion. You probably have heard of Tom Cruise and John Travolta are the main two guys that people know are in Scientology. And it's basically just a giant scam. I was in it for 30 years and I believed it's a lot of, you know, it's not belief like you think of in religion where people believe in God or higher powers, something like that. It's not like that. It's like Hubbard said, when I got in 1969 before a lot of you were born or even a thought. And hi, Dawn. And Hubbard said, I'm going to live out on the ship, right? Which we didn't know he was basically hiding from the IRS, right? But that's what was happening. And he started the Sea Organization with these young kids, and they lived out on the ocean. So he was always doing research. And so, okay, the first thing didn't work, but he's coming up with the next thing, and then the next thing. And my husband has a huge folder that his parents left him with handwritten notes from L. Ron Hubbard saying, I'm sorry this didn't work, but I'm coming up with the next thing. And thank you for the $10,000, right? And then, boom, there'd be another letter. I'm so happy you tried it. I'm sorry it didn't work for you, but I am coming up with, it's like he always had some twist on it. The reason it didn't work because of this. And anyway, I think that's why he came up with PTSSP. He actually declares if you leave or speak out, like I'm speaking out right now, you are declared a suppressive person. I don't know if you can see this, but it basically says suppressive person declare Tori Bazazian, which was my married name. My ex-husband stayed in the cult. He was born in it and he stayed in it. Even though he got up to the top, which is OT8, and it didn't work. So you'd think he'd leave, but he didn't. So what can you do? So I'm glad. Anyway, this is a group of wonderful people, and we all get together. Ooh, and I call it, okay, they popped up to say that we didn't find any threats. It's a security alert. It's like so weird. It's like, don't interrupt me. I mean, it's one thing if it's an emergency and I have to get off or something like that, but to pop on and say we didn't find anything, okay. I never met LRH. I listened to him, and most people that are in Scientology listen to him via tapes, which he made back in the 50s when my mother-in-law and father-in-law were in. And I listened to him on tape. My husband met him when he was 5. And so he was sort of, I think that's why he's still in, because he really liked Ron. He never liked Miscavige, just so you know, Miscavige. Harold Bazazian does not like you. Now you've probably done handling, so now he likes you. I mean, that's part of a cult. They have to like you. So there you go. But who would want to run something like that where people are handling other people so that they like you? Anyway, there you go. So no, I didn't meet him, but Harold, my ex-husband, did. And he really liked him. This is a cute story. He met him when he was 5, and Ron was always taping his lectures, knowing that now, years later, people like me would be listening to his lectures, right? So he wanted to shut the door so there was no interruption of sound. So my husband wanted to just zip in and get to his mom and say, can you just give me a quarter? I want to get something out of the machine, right? Because he was hungry. And so he zips in and the door's locked. And now he's stuck in there. So he sits next to his mom and dad. And Hubbard goes on and on about fate and mind and body and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Just all this stuff that was way over his head. So now it finally ends. He comes out and he said, this big guy with red hair leans down to me. And I think, oh, dear God, he's going to ask me what he was talking about. And I don't know. And he leans forward and he goes, are they giving you enough popcorn and peanuts, young man? And he just said, that was it for me. I knew boom, that this guy's the guy for me. So anyway, I thought that was a cute story. Suppressive person is a narcissist. True. No, that isn't true. A suppressive person is a narcissist? Do you honestly believe that, Dawn? No. All my friends are declared suppressive people. He might say that they're narcissists, but that doesn't mean they are. No, it wasn't a Windows update. That wasn't what that was. Hi. Okay, comment. If you ever get a pop-up like that that says you have a virus and to call a number, don't. It's a scam. Ooh, good to know. Well, that one didn't say call a number, and I wouldn't, but good to, it's always good to have someone remind you, because I know that, but it's good to have someone remind you, because it does kind of scare you when it pops up like that. Fascinating personal insight. Thank you, Sixth Sense. If you have any questions, please ask me, because that helps too. It helps you and it'll help everybody. Question, Tori, what are some of the love bombing tactics that you saw in Scientology? Well, first of all, that's a good question. Thank you, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Did I say hi to you? I didn't know you came in. Anyway, hi. She's from New Zealand. Okay, so the first one, we used to go out, and they in my day, back in the days past, we always laugh about that because we sound so old now. It's like back in my day, it sounds like my grandparents or something, which I could be if my son had a child, but he doesn't. So there you go. But I have a lot of kids that I say, you could be my grandchild. You could be my child or you could be my grandchild. And that's fine with me. So I have a lot of kids. And now I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, what love bombing tactics. Okay, so in the days past, they used to walk down the street, they'd send us out and we'd say, hi, can I ask you a question? And the person would say, yeah, sure. And say, okay, what's ruining your life? Now, when they first told me that, I said, come on, I'm not going to walk out and ask somebody that. That's weird. It just seemed weird to me. And they said, just try it. And it was so weird. It was so weird to experience because people would just start talking and it'd be like, well, I can't communicate, or I'm really shy, or I have trouble with finances, or my relationships are always crummy. It was kind of like one of those for almost everybody. But it was amazing how everybody knew what was ruining their life, and they were willing to tell it in the old days. It was really something. So then we would bring them in. We'd say, well, you know what? Scientology could help you with that. Why don't you come with us? And we'd get them in the org, and everybody'd be like, hey, good thing you came. This is a perfect time to come. And you'd be like, really? Like, oh, yeah, definitely. Let's get you on a course. And you're like, a course? What kind of course? Well, you mentioned that you have, they start everyone with the communication course. So it doesn't matter what your problem is. They somehow bring it back to the communication course. And they have a thing called the Bridge to Total Freedom. Again, like a triangle, where there's different levels. And in Scientology, you have to pay for every single level, everything. You have to pay to say now you're a Scientologist. You have to join the International Association of Scientologists. I think it's $1,500 to start. And you have to pay that to even ever get on a course. So you could come in and think, wow, these people are really nice. They're really friendly and everything. But you have to be part of the IAS. I mean, I think they have a few freebie courses that you can do, so it sort of snags you into it. But to really get on the Bridge to Total Freedom, you have to pay for it. Okay, so why was your comment posting twice? That I don't know, but don't worry about it. It's fine. I appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you did the subscription. And make sure everybody hits the like button too. All right, so now SPT. All right, safe person. Okay. All right, that's good. That's a safe person is a long way, though, from a narcissist. So whoever said that about the narcissist, that's what Hubbard would have said about SPs. But that isn't a fact at all. Most SPs I know are some of the nicest people in the world. That's for those who don't know what a suppressive person is in Scientology, Tori, a definition. I got you. Okay, thank you, Dawn. All right, Tori, I think Dawn meant that Scientology, yeah, they do. They definitely do. They really scare you. I mean, that's the thing. Because Hubbard said your entire eternity depends on you staying on the bridge to total freedom. So if you get off a little bit, it could be the end of your eternity. So people are really like, marching along, trying to stay on the bridge to total freedom. And of course, you have to pay for it, and it gets more and more expensive the higher up you go. So a lot of people can't afford it. And then also it doesn't work. So I know many, many people die like flies in Scientology all the time. And you'll say, what happened? And I don't know, they died. They had cancer. They won't get medical treatment for cancer, which is really stupid, Scientologists. If anyone's listening, please go to a real medical doctor and get medical help, because thousands, millions of people live through cancer with medical assistance. And on the same note, tons of you all die because you won't get medical assistance. It's like, hello. It isn't like, well, it's kind of 50-50. No, it isn't. It's every person that I knew that died, it was because they didn't get medical assistance. It was awful. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Dawn and Sophie, for clearing that up. 6 cents. All right, I'm going to try refreshing. The internet is glitzy. Oh, I'm sorry. I use LinkedIn. All right, you sexy girl. All right, Susan P. Hi, Tori, and everyone. All right, hi. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Thank all of you for coming by. Find your ruin. I know it's creepy. It was really creepy. I mean, when you think on it now, they don't even do it now. They do a stress test or come on in and do a personality test. And, I went at Christmas. This is how bad this is. I went at Christmas time, and they had all these white lights at the complex. And so there was one man on the street. That was it. In the old days, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, there were like people all over the place, all over the place. It was jumping. But now, nothing. So this one guy comes walking up the street, and I say, can I ask you a question? And what's the deal with all the lights? And he goes, I don't know, but they look pretty, don't they? And I look at my friend, and I go, he's a Scientologist. And I say to him, are you a Scientologist? And he goes, no, I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness. And I said, well, which is another cult. So I said, what are you doing here? And he said, well, my friend is in there doing the personality test. And I said, oh, dear God. And I said, get him out here. And I start a Facebook Live video, because this is the first time we've ever seen someone where they actually are doing the beginning thing with Scientology, right? And it's usually the communication course, $40. That's what it is. This guy was in the middle of a divorce. So they were trying to nail him to get auditing. And auditing is like their counseling. That's what it means. So they're trying to charge $5,000. This is the first time the guy walks in the door, and they want $5,000 from him. And so I said, are you kidding me? And I said, look, the security are going to be here in a minute. And I just want you to know 2 things. They lie through their teeth, and they hate me. And security comes zipping up. And you go, come on, get inside. And they go inside, and I say to his friend, go open the door, get your friend out here. And he goes to open the door, and it's locked. And this is Christmas, last Christmas, 2023. And so now it's like really freaky. So I said, you know what, call your friend and tell him just to come out for a minute. So he comes out, and he goes, and he's a wrestler, right? So he's kind of a big guy. And he goes, are you are you making a video? And I said, well, not with you. I'm not. I'm videotaping what's going on, but I'm not videotaping you. And he goes, no, I want you to videotape me. And he goes, let me show you my personality test. And he takes out this piece of paper and it's got all, like all the lines are like up, down, up, down, up, down. And he goes, yeah, they said I'm crazy and I need auditing. And I said, well, both my friend and I in unison said, just so you know, they do that to everyone. That is their drill, that you're crazy and you need whatever they think you need. So he goes, oh my God. So now they come and take him back inside. And I said, remember what I said? They lie and they hate me. So now he comes out and he's white as a sheet. I mean, he really looks freaky. And I said, what happened? And he goes, wow, they really hate you. And I said, I warned you. And so anyway, I said, are you going to give him the $5,000? And he goes, hell no, I'm going to Japan. I'm out of here. So he leaves. Now, again, in the old days, we would have never let that go. If somebody left and they were going to give you, first of all, they would never ask for $5,000 in the beginning. It was always like 40, 50 bucks, that kind of thing. But if they were going to give that much money, they would be driving out there that night to get the check. I mean, no question about it. So I was like stunned that they let him go. And so I called him the next day thinking, well, they probably went out there the next day to get it. And I said, so how are you doing? And he said, great. I got my ticket. I'm going to Japan. And I said, good. And I said, did they by any chance come out there or anything? And he said, no, they didn't. And I said, just out of curiosity, because I've read a lot of their lies that they've written about me for years. But I was curious. I said, you really look kind of freaked out. And I said, what exactly did they say about me? And he says, they told me you are a top secret. Wait, I got to get the right image on this. They told me you are a top secret undercover CIA agent. We both laughed so hard. I've had so much fun with that, Miscavige. I mean, the fact that you guys would come up with, I'm a top secret undercover. I mean, being an SP is something all of us that are declared suppressive are very proud of, because it's basically saying, no, I'm not going to take your BS. I'm going to speak out. I'm going to connect back up with my family. I'm going to, do all the things that you really got into Scientology to do that they've ended up stopping, right? And so we're proud to be SPs, but this was like monumental. Now I'm a top secret CIA agent. I mean, wow, I'd never heard that before. When did the 1500 start? God, a long time ago. I could be wrong. It might be 500 and then 1500. So it started at 500, but it still ticked us off because all of us were HASI members, which was Hubbard Association of Scientology International. And that was $1,000 lifetime membership. So we had the HASI membership and it was a lifetime membership. And now Miscavige comes along and he's like, okay, forget that. You have to become an IAS member. And I think it started at 500, but then it quickly jumped to 1500. And it was in, I think, the 80s when he started it. It started pretty high, and I know it's expensive. It really is. And I didn't know that you couldn't even do courses until you became an IAS member. I was like, wow. And I went across the street. I was like, this is BS. And I went across the street to the IAS Association they're building. And I said, look, where is this in writing? Because Hubbard had a really big thing. If it isn't in writing, it isn't true. So I said, okay, where is this in writing? We're HASI members. We're lifetime members by L. Ron Hubbard. And now David Miscavige is saying, oh, no, that doesn't count anymore. You have to become an IAS member. I said, so show me that in writing. And the guy goes like this. He's a real old man. He's sitting there and he goes, you're an auditor, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, You guys are the only ones that are giving me a hard time. And I said, that's because it's been drilled into our head forever. If it isn't in writing, it isn't true, right? So they really follow the letter, sort of, but not really. I mean, as you can see, I mean, they're so terrified of the critics now. It's unbelievable. I mean, literally every building, just so you know, I gotta get her name again. Hi T. Did she leave? Sixth Sense? Did you leave? Anyway, just so you know, every single building in LA, which is a lot of buildings now, there's Scientology buildings, because of the live stream young people that have been going around filming it with their cameras, and they all have like thousands of followers. Every single window is shut down. Everyone from 15 floors all the way down to the first floor. Every building. And that's an amazing product. It really is. I'm really proud of them. It's really cool. So anyway, that's just kind of a neat thing that's happening. Scientology always sounds like hard sales. Yeah, it is. They really push hard sales. Can you talk about some of the sales tactics that are similar? No, I never was into hard sales, so I kind of not really. But they call you in. It's by design. It's a hard sell where you have to keep going up the bridge, right? And so let's say you do one level and it doesn't really work. And now you're like, let's say you go clear, which is the big thing in Dianetics. So now you're clear. Supposedly all of you're supposed to have a perfect memory, a perfect IQ, no somatics, no pains. And that was the original definition. They've changed it over the years, but it's still pretty weird. I don't know any real clears. I don't know anybody that I would say, oh yeah, that person's clear. Not really. So they'll say they are, but that doesn't mean they are. And if you want to know what is clear, you can Google it, because it's all over the internet. People have written about it. I've made many videos about clear. But anyway, let's say you attest to clear. And now the next day or next week, a bunch of stuff comes back in, that pains, or you can't remember things, stuff like that. And so now you're kind of like, ooh. So you tell the director of processing, who is like someone that helps organize auditing. And they say, oh, okay. You say, this is kind of a secret, but these problems that I thought I got rid of, they're back. And they go, I know this is a common problem. So let me get you to somebody that can help you. And they bring you over to the registrar. And the registrar, they're all really nice people. They seem really nice. And they are the essence of hard sell, but it's in a soft sell way. And they're like, Sophie, I understand this happened to many, many people, so don't feel bad about it. The most important thing is we've got to get you up to OT3, because that's really where everything, and again, remember, it's a triangle. So clear is like here on a triangle, and OT3 is up here. It's the beginning of the OT levels, really. And so they say, Sophie, we've got to get you onto OT3. That'll really handle this problem that you have. And you're like, really? And they're like, oh, definitely. No question about it. And now they know all the people that you really respect and love. So now more and more of those people are coming around to talk to you. And they're like, oh, Sophie, you got to do the OT3 thing. You've got to just pay for it and do it. This will really change your life. You'll be amazed. And you're like, really? And they're like, oh, definitely. So the reg is just sort of, and reg is short for registrar. They're sort of in the background. They are running the show and they're making sure you pay, but they're not doing the hard sell like you're thinking of in sales, where it's like, all right, this is what it's going to be and you got to pay it right now. They don't do that. They bring around your friends, and your friends and the friends don't really realize that's what they're doing. They don't even know it because they really are brainwashed into it, works themselves. So they're like, oh yeah, you've got to just pay for the OT3 thing. Now you're into thousands of dollars. Now let's say you don't have thousands of dollars. Well, there's your parents, your brother, your aunt, your uncle. They used to have dialing for dollars where people would just call lists of Scientologists and say, hi, I didn't ever do it, but I know people who did, and they'd say, hi, I'm here in LA. I'm trying to do up through OT3, but I can't afford it. Could I borrow, $6,000 from you, and then I'll pay you back? And most of the people lend the money. It's really surprising. We had a policy. All my friends had a policy: never lend a dime unless you're willing to give it away. It's actually a really good policy because a lot of people don't pay back things. There's 19 free courses to become a volunteer minister. Really? Wow. That I didn't know. Thank you, T. I didn't know that. That's incredible. Okay, Paige, question. Do you ever wonder if a lot of things you discuss are no longer actually going on in Scientology? No, I'm pretty sure most of the stuff that I watch it every day. I go out there. I was there yesterday, and you could see the Scientologists can't talk to me. I'm not allowed on the street. It's like I can see that they are, and I know the bridge hasn't changed because people that have left would have told us if it changed, and it hasn't. No, most of the stuff that I've discussed is definitely going on in Scientology, if not worse. The worse is, that's happening every day where it's weirder and weirder. IAS membership used to start at 300 or 500. Yeah. But that was a long ago. Yeah, I'm not sure if I think it might have gone up, but either way, they're going to get you. All the time you go to these events. And we used to go down to the Shrine, and the Shrine is like a big building downtown. And they would rent the Shrine for an event, and Miscavige would come out and different people, blah, blah, blah. But then you'd want to leave. The event's over. Thank you very much. Now, what they started, this was a new thing that Miscavige put in, where they had shoulder-to-shoulder Scientology Sea Org, where you couldn't get out. The doors are over here, like there's glass doors that you can open up and get out, but no, they're in front of the doors. And you have to go into Exposition Hall, which is next to the Shrine. And in there, the whole purpose of it is to sell you whatever their next thing is. And they wouldn't let you out until you bought it. Really a trap. Very sneaky. You were declared in 1983. Congratulations, Dawn. That's really early. I wasn't declared until 2000. Yes, member. Okay. Now, Hans, 3,000 for lifetime. Wow, that's gone up. Susan P. Dawn, where were you at? Yeah, that's a good question. Let us know, Dawn. Hello, Tori. Hello, everyone. Hi, Howard Taylor-esque. It's cold, wet, and miserable in Dartmouth, England. Ooh. Then again, for 10 months of the year, it is. I wish I had a bridge to total sunshine. Maybe I pulled it in. Yeah, you should come here. That's why people move here, I think, all the time, is because of the sun. It's just so much better. It is. I couldn't live in that really cold, damp. Ugh. I can't even do it here in the United States. Like Portland is a great place, but for me, it's too chilly. Okay, Dawn, Susan, Philadelphia, and New York. Okay, I love Philadelphia. I do. I really do. Okay, Witness. Wow. HCS, only 3,000 to be harassed by a religion for more money for the rest of your life. Seems like a deal. Yikes. I know it doesn't make any sense, but you have to remember, when most of us got in, there was no internet. So there was no access to any of the information that all of you guys know. We had none. You were in, that's why I call it the Truman Show, because that's all you saw were happy people having a great time. Now, those same happy people I've now done interviews with once I was out, and none of them were happy. It wasn't working for them either. It was just, you couldn't talk about it. It's a high crime to put down the tech at all. Howard, top of the morning. All right. Love you too. Thank you, Sophie. Hey, hi, Connie. Van Cunningham, Tales of the... Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I've been watching LRH lectures from Britain. My sympathy. So effing weird. His body language, speech patterns, clothing, everything. Hard to believe people bought this. I know. I remember when I first got in 1969, and they had me go see a video of LRH. And I remember sitting there and thinking, dear God, don't let my parents come see this video. I knew if they saw L. Ron Hubbard in this video with the, he had a big black cape on and, a big director's chair that said Director L. Ron Hubbard. And I just thought, they're going to go, get out. You're out of here. I mean, it's too bad in a way that they didn't. But unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 22. So it was right when I got in Scientology. And one time I was talking to a bunch of skeptics, and I told them that story, and they all burst out laughing. They said, maybe that's why you died, because you joined Scientology. I thought, oh, awful. Anyway, comment, I protested at CCHR event on Saturday, and I mentioned about not getting medical treatment for cancer to the elderly gentleman. And he said, what a load of effing bullocks. He was very angry. Now, see, there you go, Scientology. I mean, think about it. They're frightened of their critics. They cannot face what actually goes on within their group. They can't. So he probably really believes that's just a load of bullocks. But they don't get medical treatment. They don't. And tons. I mean, I've spent years. I went in to see Dr. Denk, who was most of their doctors. And I went in to see him and I said, look, why are all these people dying? And he said, come on in my office. And he said, look, most of them that are dead, he said, every person that's tried to handle cancer naturally is dead. Some of them that did some medical, some medical, some natural, some lived, some died. Those are our statistics. That's it. And he died of cancer. So what a crazy thing. And he was pro-medicine. Question, Tori, why do you think there are less members now? How come they aren't more inviting? Well, like I said, this is just my own theory, but I think Miscavige knows it doesn't work. And he got tired of people bitching and moaning and upset about it. And he probably thought, you know what are we doing with all these auditing and all this crap? Let's just buy buildings. We'll make as much money or more. They get tons of millions of dollars in donations for the IAS, which is just a big scam also. But, it's working for him. So why, there's less members because we left. That's a lot of it. And there aren't more inviting because of the internet. People have access to the facts, just like this. I'm telling you these things. These are things I experienced in 30 years of being in and truly believing it for all that time. And it, finally I woke up and it was a shock. It really was. It's really sad how brainwashed they are. I know it is. I mean, it's really sad for me to think of my friends and my ex-husband are still in. As a stage 4 cancer survivor, I am in remission. Good for you, Howard. It's so important to get treatment ASAP. Don't delay. Exactly. But see, they can't even hear that. Sophie says, I know he's cringe, but in a context of the times, he would have appeared very different and revolutionary. Yeah, he did. A lot of us were, hippies or artists or writers or musicians. And it seemed like it was an up and coming thing that was going to work. It did. Acer, question. Do you think the Nation of Islam will ever wake up and realize the CFS is a criminal cult and disassociate themselves from them? Well, first of all, remember the Nation of Islam is like a pie, and there's only a section of it that are with Louis Farrakhan. So there's tons of them that have nothing to do with it. And I have no idea. I didn't think it would last as long as it has, because they do believe in Christianity, I think. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can interview my friend Ish, who is, I think he's a Nation of Islam member, and he can tell us. He can answer the questions. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get that set up, because that'll be good. It will. No one. Hi, Tori. Hi, no one. Top secret undercover CIA. I know, it's really funny. It cracks me up every time. Congratulations, Howard. Okay, what did Howard do? Oh, with the stage 4 cancer survivor. Yeah, way to go. That is fantastic, Howard. That's definitely good for you. Top secret agent Tori Magoo reporting for duty. All right, Howard, we're so glad you're in remission. Me too. Hubbard was really smart that way. He definitely knew how to exploit the curiosity of people. If you're curious whether something might be wrong with you, it's easy to say yes, and you should do X, Y, and Z. True. And other people like me, I didn't get in to fix me. I got in to help other people. So there's that group of people too that are just, they want to help other people. Howard, yeah, I am James Bond. Sophie, interesting. I read LRH sci-fi in the 50s and 60s. Really? Dianetics in the late 60s, never bought it. Good for you. Way good for you. Kelly, glad that you're in, Howard, glad you're in remission. Amen. Yeah, we're all proud of you. That's really good. Hans Christian Schwartz, 85-ish, around IAS membership started. Yeah, I think you're right. It was in 85. There I am, the CIA agent. Isn't that funny? It really is, especially when you know me. It's like, no, I don't think so. All right, so secret agent gal, that's right. Not everyone's a cup of tea, but there are other cults for all. Let's say that. They're all equally bad. I mean, the cult experts said the two worst ones are the Moonies and Scientology. Why? Because they build in traps in your head early on, so you can't talk to people, you can't look at the internet, you can't read certain books. So they really build in the mind control very, very early on. Listening along. Thank you, Sixth Sense. Do you have any questions? I always thought Scientology was straight and conservative and definitely not my cup of tea. Absolutely. Susan, out of my head. I don't know what that means. You are out of your head? You're laughing. All right. Question. Did you ever have any turquoise jewelry? Did you get any turquoise jewelry in Santa Fe? How did you tell if it's real turquoise? I didn't get any because it was so expensive. I mean, I just couldn't. To me, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to some, secondhand shops or something like that here in LA, and I'll poke around. I'll find some somewhere. But no, I didn't. I couldn't. It was way, way out of my range. It just wasn't. But I did get a little bracelet. I bought one bracelet. And yesterday I wore your earrings, love it. She gave me these really pretty green earrings. And someone from here gave me a really pretty green top. So yesterday when I was protesting, I wore the green top and the green earrings. So thank you, love it. That was very cool. With the Scientology hard sell, I think the Glenn Ross movie. Yeah, exactly. Very similar. Wonder Woman's airplane was clear. Sophie, L. Ron's claims were very bold, like what he says clear is. It's amazing to me that nobody has superpowers and yet they still believe. I know. Don't get me wrong. I do understand how it happens. This is a key thing. Like they always, for years when I was in Scientology, those hurricanes would come up the coast, just like they are now. And they would always go around Clearwater. And people in Scientology would say, well, the OTs handled it. And I believed it. It's kind of like that's happened more than once where in different things where they say, well, the OTs handled it. But now, I mean, Clearwater is a mess. And I want to say, okay, so what happened to the OTs that handled it, right? Where are those guys? They obviously screwed up this time, or maybe they're just gone. Am I clear now? Yes, you are. No, you're not. You're a suppressive person. You need to buy more things. Exactly. My IQ went up 109 after I hit. I got hit by a car. It went up to 137. Wow. That's better than going clear. Wow. Yeah. All right. Sophie, old hippie here. No one could tell me what to do. I did take the personality test in Germany because a cute girl asked me to. Yeah, they use cute girls a lot. That's a big part of cults. Rest in peace, Chris Christopherson. Oh, I didn't know he passed away. Gone at 88. Well, that's a good time. That's a good life, 88. Oh my God, comment. Tori's hard sell description actually sounds like me in my old job. Really? Well, do you see what I mean though? How it's very, very gentle. Do you see what I mean? I don't think anybody would buy it if they really did the hard sell like they do in the books. But the way Scientology does it, it's very tricky. It's very, very peer pressure and, using your buttons and, getting you to really think about your future and stuff like that. Spooky. Then ring on my friend. Okay, ring on my friend. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, but you guys seem to know. That's the only way I see to get Scientology is that it's a pay-as-you-go business and not a religion. I say that all the time. It's a fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. That's what it is. And I always say it's a mind control, soul-sucking, fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. That's really what Scientology is. That's it. It's 19 times proof that the earth is flat then. Oh, God. Friends is exactly how landmark education does it as well. After you're through their course, you can no longer differentiate between being excited about life and getting people. Really? Wow, that's bad. I didn't know that. Thank you, PSY Cater. Witness. So the Sea Org people would stand in front of the doors to funnel you into the area. That's creepy. Yeah, it was very creepy. But we came up with something, I could tell you now. I mean, maybe my husband will get in trouble for it. But anyway, we just, first of all, we decided we're not sitting on the first floor. Because on the first floor, the OT7s and 8s were expected to be jumping up and hip, hip, hooray for L. Ron Hubbard and all this. And we didn't want to do it. So we sat up in the balcony with all of our friends. Because in the balcony, who cares? You don't have to jump up and do the hip, hip, hooray thing. But then we get routed into that other room, and first we buy something, and then after a while, my husband and I came up with, just tell them we bought it already. We already pre-bought it ahead of time, and that worked. So there you go. If anybody's lurking and you don't want to buy something, just tell them you already pre-bought it. They probably already have some system there to check on it. Maybe it's, now let's see. So many cults spring out of Scientology techniques, right? EST is definitely one. But I notice in many others as well, even in the evangelical ones, maybe it's the blueprint for control. They're all the same. They really are. They are. I mean, Scientology's the worst with the Moonies because they build in those traps. But other than that, it's all kind of the same thing. I'm so happy you are live. Oh, thank you. Lone Dinosaur 13. Oh my God. Did you see my brother? You should buy this book. Lost in a Room Full of Dinosaurs. See, it's about a library, but it's really cool. And it's PJ Chrisman on Amazon. Just putting in a little pitch for my brother. So I'm so happy you're alive. Just woke up in Pennsylvania for no reason and thought maybe Tori is on. Yay! That's right. Hey, Lone Dinosaur 13, GTSY. Good to see you. I'm in UK at the moment and confirm that the weather is poo. I don't like that kind of weather. My sympathies. Hi, Align LTNS. I don't know what that means. LTNS. Stepford Wives, exactly. Right. Lone. Regarding L. Ron Hubbard's voice, all the cult leaders talk the same way. Really? Wow, I haven't heard any other ones. Hubbard's appearance and voice gave me the cringes right from the start. Me too, Don. Me too. And I'm kind of surprised I stayed but I stayed because of the people. They quickly hook you up with people, and I did really like the people, and that's what got me to stay, but I didn't like Hubbard. I felt like he was a blabbermouth. He would just talk on and on and on about my old buddies and I and down by the water and blah, blah, blah. And he'd throw in all these big words. So you have to look them up because you don't know what they are. Now, in the old days, they had a little card file with the hard to find words. And it was like maybe this big. By the time I left, they had a dictionary like this big of hard to find words of LRHs. It was unbelievable. Okay, and they send their members to Scientology doctors. Look at that doctor who treated Lisa McPherson and Whitney Mills, both dead. If I had gone to a Scientology doctor, like I told you, the doctor said 5 more minutes and you would have been dead. So had I gone to Scientology, I would have been dead. But I didn't, thank God. Medical neglect, in my opinion, Sophie, is tragic. It is. Okay, I think there are different aspects to it. Love bombing, in and out grouping. But the more sinister ones install a technology that intentionally messes with your semantics like EST. Wow, really? Ugh. You'll have to explain that to me. I hope Whitney's family lawsuit against him and the church works and she gets justice. It's appalling. Welcome back from STL. Thank you, Laura. Okay, Sophie, I was shouting out about Lisa, Whitney, and Ellie and how they were failed. We stopped a lot of people from going in. Yeah. Me too. Tea on Saturday. Okay. Confusion is also a strategy to introduce trance. I think that's what Hubbard's nonsense. I bet you're right. I never put those two together, but I bet you're right. Thank you. That it was just part of the introducing the trance with the confusion and splatting away. And I couldn't stand it. I was listening to a guy from Nation of Islam, and he sounded exactly like a Scientologist. He's perfectly blended Scientology terminology with his other teachings. It's disturbing to hear, actually. Yeah, I made a video about it early on when Louis Farrakhan said, everybody's going to be on course Tuesday night, or we're going to thank you and say goodbye. And I turned on my webcam, and I said, the message to the African-American community, and I said, they don't care about you at all. I was in Scientology for 30 years, and there were 5 Black people. They're super racist. So, they're into it for money, bodies in the shop, and connections. That's it. And they're still there, some of them. I mean, I was shocked that Louis Farrakhan went past clear, and I think he even did OT3, which is like, are you insane? Anyway, somebody said that to me the other night. I was outside, and I said, you're not a Scientologist, are you? And the guy goes, do I look retarded? I know we're not supposed to say that word, but that's what he said. Okay, awesome work. Thank you. You're saying that to T. Good. Thank you, Sophie. TT is the worst with that. Okay, turquoise is expensive. I love it. It's my favorite. Me too. I love it too, but I just figured I can do better. Susan and I had said almost the same thing about you being a secret agent. Susan said, gal, and I said, girl. Yep. It's true. Hey, using cute gals and guys is a tactic used by all sales. True. Sophie, NOI. Those guys really freaked me out, the Nation of Islam. I don't think this is going to end well. I don't either, but it can't end soon enough. Yes, Tori, it's a fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. Thank you. All right. I had stage 4 lymphoma with treatment. I am 7 years in remission. Good for you, Luann White. Congratulations. Carlos Costanada was a fraud too, but at least I got to eat some good shrooms. Oh, you guys are funny. All right, Sophie. You went down to Costanada rabbit hole. Did you see the new documentary about him that came out a few years ago? What's the name of it, Sophie? I haven't seen it. Congratulations, Joanna. All right. Tori has been warning all communities for decades. Thank you so much we all love you, and you've helped so many people. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. I really do, Sophie. I have been warning people forever. Thank you, love it. I really appreciate it. I love you guys too. I do. And now it is time for me to say good night. Unless you have an important question, and if you do, ask me it now. And if not, I'm going to bid adieu and go to bed. I'm still catching up from. My brother said there's a lack of oxygen in Santa Fe, because it's 7,000 feet up. So he said that's why you get tired. Because we both of us took naps. We were like, he'd be watching football in his room, and I'd be on the internet or something, and then I'd conk out. It's like, wow, I never take naps, so it was really surprising. All right, you guys. Well, anyway, that's it for tonight. I love you. Thank you all for your communications and your interest. I appreciate it. And good night, everyone. Tori, sleep tight. Thank you, Sophie. And you too. You have a good day. Yours is tomorrow, the day. Anyway, good night to all of you. Thank you. Good night, Tori. Hoping to come up to visit soon. Good. Well, definitely call me. Let me know ahead of time. Okay. Love this evening. Thanks, but have to crash. Me too. That's what I'm saying. Hi, Verity. Hi. Anyway, good night, you guys. May the night go well. You sleep tight and have a wonderful tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys. I got to figure out how to do this. Oh, yeah. The big red end stream.